Oh, hey there, pal. Okay, so last time we built some examples from the KOS installation, but we haven't actually programmed them to our Dreamcast yet. So let's do that today. A good way to do this is with the DCLoad-IP utility. I have a broadband adapter on my Dreamcast, so that's what I'm going to be using. You can see in my video window here, I've pre-built a CDR of this that's running on my Dreamcast. So I just started it up, and we can watch a boot. Once this is going, you'll see kind of these status indicators. So when you see this, it's ready to send your program, your game. You can see the IP address there. We'll need that. And you can also adjust that. In my case, I've set a static IP address for my Dreamcast using my router. You can do that if you like. If you don't want it to be the same IP address every time, maybe that doesn't matter to you, it'll display it on your Dreamcast anyway, so you don't really have to worry about it if you don't want to. Okay, we can see on the wiki, we've got a few links and kind of an example of how you would use this. So I'm going to take a few steps going through this. Sizious, I'm not sure I'm saying that right. Sizious has a version of this with the best kind of performance improvements. This is what I've been using. And so I'm going to install this on my Ubuntu computer here. And then we'll run this, which will communicate with the Dreamcast. So the other thing we have to do here is we have to actually burn a CD, right? So I've already done that, but I'm going to show you how to do it. So you can get a pre-built image here, and we just download the zip file. So let's take a look at that. We'll extract it. Okay, so we can see we've got 2.0.1 and 1.0.6 here. We're going to do the 2.0.1. So the other thing we're going to need is something to actually burn the CDI to a CD with. Alex Free has built a tool for this called Dreamcast CDI Burner, or DCDIB. They have a great portable download of this. We can just download the zip. There's the actual executable, right? So I've prepared a few notes on how to do this. So we haven't installed DCLoad-IP on our computer yet. We'll do that next. But we've got the DCLoad-IP images downloaded, and I've downloaded DCDIB, and now we should be able to run the command to actually burn a disk. So let me pull up the terminal here. I'm in source right now. Let's go to downloads, and we will go to DCDIB. We can see there's DCDIB right there. And so we're going to run DCDIB, and we're going to give it that CDI file we downloaded, and that should just burn it. So let's see how that goes. Okay, that's looking good. Unfortunately, I don't have a disk in my drive, so this isn't going to work. Yep. You'll need a blank CDR for this. You can still find them around. This is a very old one I have kicking around, but should be just fine. So I put that in my drive. And now let's get burning. Okay, we just ejected the disk. Should be all burnt now. So let's pop over to the Dreamcast. I'm going to shut down the Dreamcast, and I'm going to pop in our new disk. Okay, so that seems to be working just fine. So we've got the Dreamcast end of the system sorted out. Next up, let's install DCLoad-IP on our computer and see if we can send one of our built demos over to the Dreamcast. So I have a few notes prepared on this. We're going to be downloading DCLoad-IP, so let's start with that. I'm going to go to my source directory. So I just have a few things in here, and now we're going to do a git clone. Okay, so that's cloned from Git. Okay, so we're ready to compile DCLoad-IP here. I've found that we do actually need to run our environ.sh here. This is something we set up in our previous video, so you can go check that out if you're lost here. So that's setting up our environment, and now we're good to run make. And there we go. And now we'll run a make install. And now, that should be installed. Okay, so let's check out the README. Okay, so we did the make, and then it installed in opt toolchains DC bin. Let's see about that. Okay, and we can see that it did install there. It did not like the -v parameter, but it showed us the help, so it is installed, and we can see it is on version 2.0.3. Let's go ahead and try using this to run a game. I have pre-built a command for this. One thing to note here is there's a fast flag, -f, and that just makes it run faster. My understanding is the data transmission is somewhat less reliable, but in practical terms, it doesn't make a difference. And it actually notes that in the help here may increase packet loss, but the performance gains are very substantial, and realistically, the packet loss doesn't seem to be a serious problem. So it's really basically always smart to use the -f. So one thing I'm doing here is I'm going to use the second mix demo that is in the examples in KOS. So let's just see if we can run this. I'm going to go ahead and switch to the Dreamcast view, and the optimistic theory that this is just going to work. Okay, there we go. Not too bad. So that is how this goes. You can also do debugging and things through this tool. We're not doing that right now, right here, but it's kind of a more advanced feature you can set up, and obviously is really useful being able to step through your code to debug, things like that. Okay, that about does it. So we've burnt our own DCLoad-IP disk. We've set up DCLoad-IP on our computer. We've installed it, and we've run a Dreamcast game from the KOS examples sent to the Dreamcast over the broadband adapter using DCLoad-IP. I hope this helps, and keep on dreaming.